we're not able to hear you. You might be talking. That was my introduction, and coming to my professional experience. Apart from the professional experience, I have a teaching experience as well. I have almost 2.5 years. It's the third year is running. The third year is going to complete. I started giving online trainings as well as the physical training, and I used to train the people in Java and J2E as well as in the Hadoop technologies, Hadoop ecosystem stack, Hadoop stack, I can say. Let's try to understand why we are here today. Why we are here today? What is the purpose we are gathering here? Can anyone tell me? I just want to make create the environment why we are here. Just go ahead and try to answer why we are here today. What is the reason behind why we are gathered? Why this meetup?
Yeah, we are here to learn Hadoop.
Yes, to learn the Hadoop. Now, what is a Hadoop? It is one kind of framework, or I can say it is a solution to one problem, right? What is the problem? Why we need a Hadoop? What? Yes, Suraj, tell me.
There is a large data present in the internet right now. We need to solve it so that we can everybody can access it quickly and efficiently.
That's partially correct. I can say it's not only the internet, it can be offline as well. I can say so, not only online, it can be offline as well. And let's see what is the problem. Okay, so we know that the data is getting generated. Yes, to manage the raw data. Irfan, yes, you are correct. Let's see what is the problem. The problem is, let's try to understand the small block diagram. We have a different sources who is going to generate the data. Those sources can be your social media, the sources can be your financial institutes. It can be your financial institutes, or it can be your social media. It can be sensors. It can be satellite, or it can be something XYZ. Right? Whoever is giving your data, it can be anything. It can be your mobile. It can be your laptop. It can be your Facebook or Twitter. It can be anything. It can be anything. Whoever is emitting the data, those are called sources. What we'll call, those are called as sources. Then what they will do? They will emit the data. They will emit the data. What kind of data it is? As Irfan said, it is a raw data. It is a raw data. Why we call it a raw data? Because this data, whatever the sources is giving, the same data it is. Like it is generating by sources. It is not get processed. To whom we'll call raw? Let's say raw rice. Let's say paddy. What is a paddy? It is a raw rice. Because it's not processed. The same way, this is raw data. The raw data is given by whom? The sources. There can be your financial institute, your stock exchange market, your social media like Twitter, Facebook, or something else. Your satellites, like different kind of satellites, I can say, and your sensors, any kind of sensors. Your mobile or laptop, your CCTV, your whatever it is. Okay. Now this raw data, what we will do with the raw data? What we will do with the raw data? We will process the raw data. How we will process? By using some ETL tools. Some ETL tools which are licensed. What is ETL? What is the full form of ETL? The full form of ETL is extract, transfer, load. What this ETL will do? It will process your raw data. It's like your Informatica, your Abhinishu, your MSBI, Oracle BI, what other tools are available in ETL. Then what we will do? We will transfer the data to the database, to a database system. Which data will be stored here? Which is normalized data. What is the normalization? What is the normalization? Any idea, guys?
data that has been sorted out for our purposes, or it has been condensed to octal space.
It has been optimized, I can say,
Yes.
or it has been removed the duplicate entries. It has been optimized such a way that only unique data is present. I don't want the duplicate data in multiple tables. It is, there are some different kind of normalization forms. First normal form, second normal form, third normal form. Right? There are different kind of normal forms. We are not going to see that now, but the data will be normalized and stored into your database. Right? Then what will happen on top of this database? There will be some applications will be running. That can be a Java application, that can be a .NET application, that can be some XYZ applications based on this database. Or if you want to generate the report, let's say it's a historical data or e-commerce. Let's take an Amazon as an example. Amazon.com is an example. What this Amazon.com will do? It will be, people will be logging in or registering. They will be purchasing some items, and they will be going to the, there will be, it's an e-commerce application. Let's assume that's an e-commerce application. The data will be processed and stored in the database, and I want to see last 1 year what is my status, whether I have purchased items. I mean, what is my status of Amazon? Amazon wants to know that what is my status in the market last 1 year. How many new customers are there? How many old customers have started doing a transaction with me? Or how many has been purchased? What kind of products? Like the people are purchasing more. The books are they purchasing? Or they're purchasing going for electric cars like mobiles or TV or speakers or some any home appliances? They want to see. They want to identify the statistics. What is my business? And what they will do? They will query the data. Let's assume that it is a customer data is there in this. Okay, customer details and who are all purchased what item and what category of item. And what we will do, we'll query from here. We'll issue a query. What is query? SQL query kind of thing. Query is you're asking something. Query means what? You're asking something to a database. You're asking something to a database, give me this. Give me these details. That's called query. Now, from where will query? We'll query from the client machine. We'll query from the client machine. Let's assume that it is a data center which is there in USA or Singapore. It's a client machine which is there in India. I just want to see IN. Just say it's an IN. I just want to see what is my status. I just query who are all purchased what product. After querying, it will process the data. It will be having some processor. And the data will be generated in a specific time. Let's assume that this is time. Okay. Now, once the data is generated, once the results are come, we will generate the reports on top of it. That's called visualization. That is called visualization. What we will do with the visualization? We'll generate some reports which are Excel sheets. It can be Excel sheets. It can be some other kind of pie chart, graph chart, whatever the chart kind of things. Who will use these reports? Our business analysts, data sciences, some other resources who will improve the business. Clear guys, still here? Two, is this clear? This is a traditional approach.
Yes. Yes, we are good.
What is a traditional approach? Why we'll call it a traditional approach? Why we'll call it is a traditional approach? What is a traditional first of all? The traditional means what our ancestors are used from last some decades, some last 100 years or last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. Whatever our ancestors are used, if we are using the same system, we will call it as a traditional system. Am I right? That system has some limitations. If the system is good fit, it is good enough to process the data when the data is a small amount of the data. When the data is small amount of the data, last 10 years it was working very fine. The 10 years before, the system is super, it's giving the super performance. It is the only system which exists. This is the only way where we'll process, where we'll analyze the data. 10 years before, right? Then what will happen? Suddenly, why big data come into picture? because the data has been grown. The data has been grown. When the data is grown, I have to invest more on my ETLs. I have to invest on my ETLs. I have to replace the data waste because my data is grown. Now the data, which is the data is coming from sources, is huge data. I need to replace the hardware. And let me bring to one small point here. When you want to process a data, how the process will happen? Let's assume that, guys, in your laptop you have opened a MS Excel sheet, or you have opened a Word document, or you have opened a PDF file. Where the process will happen? Okay, let me put in very simple way. You have opened your mobile, you have taken your mobile, you started playing a game. Where the game will play, where the game will be processed? Your SD card or your RAM?
RAM.
All the process will go in the RAM. Not only mobile, if you take any devices who will process the processors, the process will go in the RAM, right? The process will go in the RAM. If you open your Excel sheet or if you open the Word document, you start typing, it will not store anywhere, but it will be there in the computer. Temporarily it will be there in the RAM memory. The process will happen in the RAM memory. Now here, let's assume that my Amazon data is 10 GB data. I have issued the query, which is there in USA. I want to process 10 GB data. I want to process 10 GB data. And I have queried from the client machine. What will happen? In the traditional approach, it will start download the data, right? From server data center to your client machine, start download the data, because the process has to happen in the client. The process has to handle in the client. What will happen? It will start download the data. To download 10 GB data, how much time it may take? 10 minutes. Let's assume that I have a 1 GB PS bandwidth. It will take 10 minutes to download the 10 GB. And my client machine should be capable enough to handle that much of data, capable enough to process the data in the RAM, because my process should be a bigger process. My process should be a bigger process here. And the time, if you're processing the data, if I say I want the data today, I want the reports today. If you say that, as being a developer, if you say I'll give the reports by tomorrow end of the day, after 24 hours. Let's say if I ask the report 10 o'clock today, if you say that I'll give the reports will be generated next day 10 o'clock in the night or 10 o'clock in the morning, after 24 hours, is it a is it an efficient system? No, it's not an efficient system, because in a market we're in a very we're in a world where the competition is more. Other competitor, he is generating the reports in 5-10 minutes. If you say 24 hours before your report is generated, other competitor, like let's take, I'm just taking Walmart. What he will do? He will launch the product also. He will see the report and he will start to launch the product. He will be in the market. Before you will see the report, what he will do? He will see the report. He will generate the report. He will analyze it. He will generate the new. He will introduce a new product and he will sell to the market. He will come into the market. So the time is more important. If you want to generate a report in 10 seconds or 10 minutes or 5 seconds or 5 minutes, you should have a good amount of the processor and you should have a good hardware. Not only good hardware, the data process here is a sequential or parallel, guys? The processing data in the traditional approach, is it sequential or parallel?
Sequential.
It is a sequential. If the data is started processing sequential, it will take so much of time. Let's assume that I have 10 boxes. In each box I have an apple. I ask one person to pick the apple. What he will do? He will attempt the 10 times. And the same scenario, let's assume that he has taken 5 seconds or 10 seconds to collect all the apples. I have 10 persons. I said to collect the apples to 10 people. And I have assigned to, this is your box, this is your box, this is your box. And I have assigned the respective box to the respective person and I asked to collect the apples. They will finish in 1 second. So the same way, here in the traditional approach, we don't have the distributed data. The first problem is, let me note it down the problem, the cost is involved, because when the data is grown, I have to invest here. I have to invest my hardware, right? Cost is involved. Second, because of it is a sequential process, time taking. It's not better performance. The third one, let's assume that the system is failed. The system is crashed completely. The data center is crashed. Can I have a recovery data or can I have a backup? I cannot have a backup because the backup is not meant in the traditional approach. Even though if you meant that if you have stored the same data in another machine, to bring it to alive or to bring it to live, you may take 4 hours, 5 hours and one day, because you have to change some configurations, you have to give that configuration, this configuration, connections and all you have to give. It may take 4 hours. So here there is no recovery. Auto fault tolerance. It's called auto fault tolerance. What is a fault tolerance? If any machine is failed, there is no other system coming alive saying that guy, if that is guy is failed, I am there, take the data from me. There is no that kind of system. There is no parallel, no parallelism. No, the data is not distributed. The data is there in single machine. Data is not distributed. And what we are doing when we issue the query, the data we are downloading towards your client, towards your computation. What is a computation? My query is my computation. Query is my business logic. You can call it as a computation, or you can call it as a business logic, or you can call it as your logic or your processor or your computation. Instead of that, what I will do, let it be data center here only. My query I will send here. Let's assume that guys, if you write 100 lines of code, how much big the file will be? 1 MB, 10 MB maximum, 10 MB file. Instead of downloading 10 GB towards your client, I will upload 10 MB file towards my data center where the data is there, and go ahead and process, and I'll start execute this query in that data, and I'll get the results fast. That is called data locality. That is called data locality. No data locality in the, there is no data locality in the traditional approach. Do you guys understand what is the data locality? Wherever the data is there, if your process, your logic is going executing that machine near to the data, at the place of the data, that's called data locality. If that is not the case, you are getting the data towards your program, towards your logic, that is called non-data locality. Okay, so these are the limitations, these are the problems are associated with an existing system. Is this clear, the problem? Is problem is clear with you guys?
Yes.
Or you guys understand what is the problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me explain who is causing the problem. Who is causing the problem? Who is the
system
culprit?
itself is like this.
Sorry?
The system itself is like that.
No, that's not system itself, is like the data. Before it was working very nicely. Before it was working very nice. Now it is giving up. Because of what? Data. Big data. Your data is grown. Your data is grown. Let me save it as a prop statement. Let me say it as a problem statement. Let me take a new screen. Now, who was causing the problem, guys? Big data. Big data, right? Big data. What is big data, guys? What is big data? Anyone?
So like a large amount of unclusters data.
A huge amount of the data. A huge amount of data which cannot be stored, managed and processed efficiently by using traditional approach. By using traditional approach. That is called big data, right? A huge amount of the data, right? What do you say? Whenever if anyone asks you what is a big data, will say a huge amount of the data. How much huge, guys?
Very,
How much
very,
used? How much?
very, like it's very complex.
How much used?
More
Is there
than
any
the
constraint?
terabytes.
No. No need to be. There is no constraint like that. There is no constraint like that. If 1 TB data, I cannot say it's a big data. Next tomorrow, one guy will come. What guy you are telling that 1 TB? I'm processing 1 PB petabytes of data. So how will you say it's 1 TB is a big data? And
Yeah.
day after tomorrow, one more guy comes and says, what you are telling petabytes? I'm doing zettabytes. So zettabytes is a big data. Day after tomorrow, one more guy comes. What zettabytes? I'm processing exabytes. I'm processing exabytes. So there is no limit. But when you say how much of view, whatever I see, it is properly partitioned or properly delimited as a columns, right? And rows. Rows, we don't worry about the rows. Rows are any number of rows. The columns are properly delimited. What is a delimiter? You are dividing two words or dividing one thing. You are dividing two parts. When you are dividing one thing in two parts, that we can call it as a delimiter. In our data, if you take a DB table or view, the whole data, the thing is that whole data has been divided into columns. The whole data has been divided into the columns. That I can say it is a structured data. As soon as I see this data, okay, it has a proper structure. It has been delimited properly, columns, column 1, column 2, and so on, column n, right? So the DB tables, I can say structured data, one of the example. The same way as Suraj said, spreadsheet or Excel sheets. Also, when I see that, it has a proper structure. And when I see CSV file, what is the CSV file, guys?
Comma.
CSV, comma, separated values. Comma, separated values. It means that the values has been separated. The whole, when you see when you look at this data, the separation, the delimiter is comma. It is properly structured, right? Only single delimiter. The whole data has been separated properly with the comma. Can I say it's an example of structured data?
Yes.
And also, I have one file which my application is generated or my source is generated. The whole data is separated with a hash. Only one delimiter is a hash, like a comma. Can I say this is also structured data? I can say it is a hash separated data, hash separated values, right? So when you look at the whole data, as soon as you saw the data, you understand that the data has been properly structured or properly delimited with a single delimiter. That kind of data, we can call it as a structured data. Are you guys clear about the structured data?
Yes, sir.
Then
Yes.
what is unstructured data? Unstructured data are like your images or video, audio, videos, a JPEG format, zip format, any kind of format data. Because those are bits format. We cannot. There is no. We cannot say if those are properly structured or improperly structured. I mean, there is no delimiter in that images. So can we say image files or audio files or your video files as a unstructured data? Are you guys agree with me? Or you guys have any doubt? Coming to semi-structured data. Why I have taken this last? Because 80%, 80 to 90% of the world is staying with semi-structured data. What are the examples? Your text file, your Word document. How can you say, sir, the Word document is a unstructured or semi-structured? Because when I look at the Word document, each word has been separated with a single space. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Then why can't we say it is structured data if it is semi-structured? But in the text file, some places it's a single space, sometimes it's tab separated, some places it is a paragraph, right? Some places it is some headings will be there, subheadings will be there, right? So when I look at the text file, I can say it is a semi-structured data. I'm able to make out something by seeing the data. Okay, the words have been separated with the space. Okay, there is some structure on it. So that's called semi-structured data. What is the example? Your text files, your emails, your email. Can I say emails are semi-structured? How can you say, sir? The email, when you look at the email, you'll be having two address, you'll be having a subject, and you'll having a signature. Without having these three, there won't be any email. You can say, sir, you can say that I'm not writing my signature, but still it is a format, right? But whatever the data in between this, whatever the content you write, again it's a text format. Can I say email as a semi-structure? Are you guys understand? Could you please respond, guys? Are you guys understood email?
Yes.
Email.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Email data, I can say it is a semi-structure.
Semi-structured.
Let's assume that I have a XML file. I have an XML file. Can I say XML file as a structure or semi-structure?
Semi-structured.
How can I say? I mean, how can we prove that XML files are the semi-structure?
Because it's
Because they have charts and
and text also.
Okay, the semi-structure will contains, sorry, the XML files will contain, let's assume that employee, there is one tag, and let's say name tag, let's say first name, the child of this, first name, I'll just first name, last name, and slash name, and you may have one more department, employee ID, or whatever that you will be having this. So how can I say it is a semi-structure? When I see this, there is a proper structure. Starting tag is there, ending tag is there, in between I have some tags. How can I say it is a semi-structure? I can say it is structured data. Sir, this is one record. When I go with other record, employee, he has a parent tag. When I take employee, he has a name, but he don't have the first name, he don't have the last name. I mean, he just have the first name, he don't have the last name, and he don't have the some special categories, skills. Something is not there. So all your XML records are not similar, right? Those will be different tags will be there. This guy has more tags and this guy doesn't have any tag, right? This kind of data we can say semi-structured data. Are you agree with me, guys?
Yes.
Let's take a log file. Have you guys get a chance to look at the log file? Oh. 1 second, guys, please be online.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, David, tell me. Yeah, good evening. How are you doing? We have done Ubuntu, okay? Okay, have you installed HADOOP in that? Okay, you have installed Hadoop, okay? Sorry, you didn't install Hadoop. So I have shared the document to you, right? I have shared the document for installation. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, not a problem. I can make it, I can install it. We'll have a online, we'll meet one day. I mean, we can do it in online, not a problem. The installation will not take more than 1 hour if we have a Ubuntu. No, it's okay, not a problem. Even if let it be whatever the version it is. Oh, you have done the partition, very good. Okay, so when you are going to attend the classes, from when you will be active? From Monday. Okay. Good, fine. Yeah. Okay, bye. Yeah, sorry guys, I got some call. Okay. Now, yeah, have you guys get a chance to look at the log files? Any log files? You sometimes in our mobile also will be seeing some log files.
Yes, sir.
Right? So the log files are looks like you'll be having a date, IP, date, timestamp, and what type of log it is. It's a info log or it is a debug log, error, and what is which class it is called, which method is called, and where it is. All the details will be there, right? Sir, all the records will be the same. IP address will be there, date will be there, timestamp will be there, whether type of the log will be there. Properly it is structured, right? Or why, how you are telling it is a semi-structure? Because let's assume that there is a log file, an exception has occurred. How it looks? Let me show you one of the file. Let me show you any one of the file. These are all CC compressed. Let me show you some console data. It's a very big file. Let me put an INAP file instead of them, so not programs. But it's not opened. Yeah. It is not log actually, it is a console data. See, this is a log file, right? Just I have taken my setup log file. It will have a date and some timestamp and what type of bug, log it is, info log, and this is the thing, and this is right. This is a properly executed log. Let's assume that some exceptions occurred. If any exception is there, how it looks? Let me show you the exception. If any exception comes, yeah. See, if any exception comes, it will come like this. Can I say it is the structured data? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Because
The exceptions occurred here. When exception occurred, it is coming some unknown format. Some unknown data it is displaying. So how can I say my log file is a structured data? Right? My log file is not a structured data. It is a semi-structured data. Are you guys agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And there is one more example. Why I'm taking more example for semi-structured data? Because 90% of the world or 90% of the world is staying with the semi-structured data. Even though we will be processing more on semi-structured data. And the last one is JSON format. Do you guys have a JSON format? Any idea about the JSON data? What is the JSON data? How it looks?
JavaScript oriented notation.
No, it's not JavaScript. It is a Jackson. The JSON means the person who invented this kind of data his name is Jackson. How the data looks like: flower brackets open, key, colon, value, and your flower brackets will be ended. Sir, all the data is delimited with a colon, right? It's a single delimiter, right? How can I say it is a semi-structured? Because my value can be, again, one more JSON data, or my value can be array of JSON data, right? So one record it looks like this. If I take another record, it will not be like this. It may be different, right? Can I say my JSON data is a semi-structured data? Can I say my JSON data is a semi-structured data? Let's look at how this JSON data looks. This is JSON data. This is JSON data. Colon, the data is colon, and it has some collection of data. It's not be always the same format. It may it's no need to be the same format all over all the records. It may be a different format. In this JSON I have two keys. In other JSON I have multiple keys. Clear, guys? Are you guys able to follow me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now these are the different types of data. Different types of data. So are you guys clear about how the data has been formatted and who is causing the problem? The problem is caused by data, and we have seen the classification of the data. Now we'll see the characteristics of the data. What are the characteristics? There are 6 characteristics. Actually, some people will say it is a 3V. I say, with a recent update, I'll say it is 6V. What is the 6V? The first one is volume. How much of data we are going to handle?
Velocity.
I mean, that's what. The first V is volume. The second V is velocity. The third V is variety. Different type of data. The fourth V is veracity. How much accurate the data is. The fifth V is value. The sixth V, the recently I have seen one of the duck cutting, who is the founder of Hadoop. He is saying that variety of variability. Variability means keep changing. So variable, we'll say variable, right? Variable means keep changing. And these are the 6 V's. While we are designing a solution for a big data problem, we have to keep in mind these 6 V's. How much volume I'm going to handle? Today I'm handling 1 TB. Tomorrow it become 1 zettabytes or petabytes. Who will represent that? Velocity. How fast the data is generating, and what kind of data it is. How fast the data is getting generated depends on that. I have to form my cluster. Depends on that I have to make my environment. What kind of data it is, whether it's structure, unstructured or semi-structured. What type of data I'm getting, I have to keep in mind while doing this. Veracity. What is veracity? How accurate the data is. Any kind of data I can process. What it is telling, your big data can take any volume of the data. Your big data can handle how much fast the data gets generated, not a problem, we can handle. Variety, any kind of data I can handle. It can be structured or unstructured or semi-structured, I can handle. And veracity, what is veracity? How much accurate the data is. Let's be explain, and let me take an example. I'm saying that hashtag India versus Pak. What does it mean? We'll be seeing this kind of tags in hashtags in Facebook or in LinkedIn, some places. What does it mean? Even in news channels we are seeing this kind of thing. Social media. What does it mean? Are they talking about the match between India and Pakistan, cricket match in Pakistan? Are they talking about any business between these two guys? Or are they talking any war between these two guys? Right? We don't know. How we'll come to know? Depends on the comments, or depends on the content, depends on the subject. So what it is telling, any type of subject, I can give a meaningful information to this by processing this subject or processing these comments. That's called veracity. And value. Let's think, guys. Nowadays we are seeing e-commerce exclusively Flipkart, exclusively Amazon, exclusively eBay, or exclusively Snapdeal. Why this exclusive came into picture? Why this exclusive came into picture? Let me take a small example which I have recently read in one of the I think Facebook or LinkedIn, Facebook I hope. There was an Indian king, okay? I don't know who is that name, his name I don't know, okay? The king. He visited to UK for some sightseeing, some business purpose, I don't know why he has visited. And he visited to one Rolls-Royce. I think there is a famous cars those days. It's like BMW, Audi in these days. More bigger cars. He visited to that showroom in UK. Then what happened? The salesman, by looking this king's appearance, he didn't respect to him. The kings always expect the respect. Not only king, all the leaders. Now even politicians will expect the. Sorry.
Nizam, Robert Nizam King.
Maybe.
About Nizam.
Maybe yes, maybe Nizam, that king. So then what happened? They didn't respect to him properly. Then what happened? And he just come back to the hotel, and he called his PA and say that to call to that showroom. How many vehicles are available right now? You just go ahead and book all the bikes, including the delivery charges. He booked all the cars, and then what happened? Then the showroom, salesman and everyone is waiting for the one. I mean, who purchased this? They're waiting for them. Then they visited with his actual appearance, with a nice suit, having the jewels, and nicely he visited. Then they realized, okay, what the mistake they have done. For that, they have given the proper respect now this time, and what they have done, they bought this cars to India. After getting this car to India, what the king did, he used those 6 cars, which are the valuable cars or which are the high-end cars, to collect the garbage in the street, to clean the streets. This news has been spread across the world, and then everyone started looking at the data. I mean, looking at the why it means the king is doing like this. Maybe these cars are that kind of worth it is. They think that okay, the king is using the cars for the street, collecting the garbage or cleaning the roads. The value has been degraded, and what happened? It went to the, then it affected the brand market. It affected very badly. The stock is gone. I mean, the brand is gone down. I can say the economy of the brand is gone down. Then they started analyzing why it happened. Anyway, right? So some loss happened. We'll start analyze. Then they started collecting the data. They collected the data. They found that one of the king from India has did this. Because of that, it gone down. The stock, the economy is gone down for the specific brand. The sales of the specific brand, is gone down. Then he called he called in the sense they might have sent a letter to the king. Those days there is no cell phones, right? So they send the apologies letter to him, saying that I'm very sorry for this. The compensating, I'll give you 6 more costs. Please do not use this brand cost for the collecting the garbage and all. Then king is satisfied with that, means satisfied in the sense he accepted the apologies. See, that's a very good thing. Someone is saying the apologies for their mistake, we have to accept it. Then he has accepted, and he stopped collecting the garbage by using those costs, and he started using for normal purpose. Then why I have brought this thing? What they have done, when the sales gone down, because of what? The sentimental data, the reviews of the car, the feedback of the car, right? The sentiment data they have analyzed, and they found what is the cause. They reacted immediately. Then they started increasing their sales. The same way, if you take any brand car, if they launch, then they will launch the car very limited cost. Then they'll start looking at the feedback of the car. Then they'll start the variants. The same way, the Flipkart or e-commerce or any of the e-commerce applications, what they're doing, when they launch a mobile, how many people are buying it, and then they'll see the reviews, and they'll see, suppose 300 people are there, and the 300 people, 200 people have bought this product, and 100 people are not satisfied with the configuration or not satisfied with the price. They just dropped. Now these guys, what the Flipkart guys will do, they will analyze this 300 people's data, the feedback, and they'll identify that why I'm not able to catch this 300 people also. Then they'll start analyze. What they will do finally, they will analyze because of the configuration maybe they didn't buy, because of the price they didn't buy. What they will do, they will slightly reduce the price. Then they will try to attract the customer. Still they didn't get attracted because of the configuration. Then what they will do, they will go to the manufacturer saying that I want this configuration product in this price. So I have this many customers, 1 lakh customers are there looking for this product in this price. Then your manufacturer will launch the product exclusively in the Flipkart. Why? Because he has to reduce all this, all this retailing and all the showroom cost and everything to reduce that, and he will come up with the only exclusive to Flipkart, it will not available anywhere. That is how that exclusive came into picture. Let's take one more example. Today I have logged into Amazon. You have viewed with nice mobile, iPhone. Let's assume that iPhone or a MacBook, and they have come out. You see the price is a bit high, it's more than your budget, it just come out, and you close the browser, and you have logged into another browser. It will be showing at right hand side the price has been come down this product. How it has happened very quickly. It is called streaming. What they will do, they will capture all your logs. They'll see what happened, why he didn't buy. Then they'll analyze the data, and they'll immediately they'll start advertising in the other portal by taking your IP address, by taking your browser agent, by taking what is the OS you have used, from which location you have used. This data they'll analyze. Then wherever you log in with your username and password, they'll start appearing that advertisement. Right? What they're getting, why I have brought this into picture, because the value, whatever the data you have processed, it is giving some value. It is improving your business. If this is not improving your business, what is the use? If it is not improving your business, there is no value. There is no point to process that much of data by using this much resources. Right? So the value is more important. The fifth V is more important while we are doing all these things. While we are going to set up, or while we are going to do, buy the hardware to set up the Hadoop setup and all. The value. What is the value I'm going to get, and what is the variability? Variability is nothing but the data is keep changing. Today my source is emitting text file. Tomorrow it may emit the image files. Day after tomorrow it may give the audio files or video files. So I should be capable enough to handle any kind of the data. These are the 6 categories of our big data. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have understand the data and we have understand very well about the who is causing the problem. Then how we will solve the problem? How we will solve the problem? Those 6 limitations, how we will solve them? And Hadoop come up with the 2 beautiful. What is a Hadoop? Hadoop is a Java framework, Java-based framework, which is a open source and was developed by Duck Cutting in 2006. Actually, the origin is 2002 only, but officially it has been launched in 2006. We'll see that history. We don't worry about the history, but we'll see that. The Hadoop come up with the 2 beautiful tools called, it's not tools, I can say 2 components. One is HDFS, another one is MapReduce. What is HDFS? It will tell that I will store the data this way, for the storage purpose. If you store the data that way, I will process this way. This is for processing the data. What is a HDFS? HDFS is Hadoop Distributed File System. Hadoop Distributed File System. What is a MapReduce? Map and reduce. It will process the data, it will map your data and it will process it and it will reduce it. We'll see what is a MapReduce at a later point of time. We'll just try to concentrate on the HDFS. Hadoop Distributed File System is a distributed file system on top of commodity hardware. So what is a commodity hardware? Commodity hardware is a cheaper hardware. A cheaper hardware where you can get from the Dell or you can get from the HP or you can get from the Intel, you can get from the IBM. What will be the configuration for them? There will be 64 GB RAM, GB guys, not MB, RAM, 1 TB or 2 TB hard disk, or 8 or 16 or 32 core processor. Sir, this is very big to me. How can you say 64 GB RAM is a cheaper hardware? For us, for individual, it may be a bigger, it may be costly. But when you go for the nation level, this is very cheap. For them it's very cheap. Why? Because they will not buy a monitor, first thing. They will not look for the retina display, or they will not look for a good monitor, LED, LCD, nothing that they will not worry. They'll just need a hardware, which contains the hard disk, which contains the RAM, processor, which is a CPU, and CPU contains everything, right? And the processor. Only these 3 components. They don't need any extra components. That is why they'll get into the chip. Let me take a small, let me show you a small PPT where you can understand how my cluster looks. This is the Hadoop cluster, guys. Are you guys able to see?
Yes.
This is the racks. The rack is nothing but it's kind of where you can keep hard disks sequentially. This is a rack. These are the nodes. What is a node? Node is a physical machine or physical entity which will participate in the network. We can call it as a node. So these are the nodes. The node is a technical term for a hardware which is participating in the network. Rack is a collection of hardware which will keep in the sequence to arrange in a proper way, like a shoe rack. So normal rack only it is. These are the racks, looks like this. And Hadoop cluster looks like this. It's a block diagram of Hadoop, where we'll have a multiple racks. If you see rack 1, rack 2, rack 3, rack 4, and so on, rack n. In there the racks will be having nodes. We'll see what is a node and how it will be formed, and we'll be connecting all or connecting through a network. Shall we go ahead and see the slides from the starting? Just go ahead and see the slides. Guys, is it okay? I think it's already more than an hour. Is this fine? Or do you guys want me to stop here and we'll continue tomorrow? I don't have any problem. We can continue tomorrow. And also, once all students are get confirmed, we will announce the timings. I'm looking for, I'll be preparing time in between 5 to 6:30 in the morning. In the morning, IST, I'm planning to, because if I take evening classes, sometimes I may stuck in the office or sometimes I may stuck in the traffic. So that is the reason I may prefer morning 5 to 6:30 IST. Let's see how many people are comfortable with the timings. How many people are comfortable with the timings? Depends on the time we will plan. I mean, depends on the people's request and depends on the people's or time we will arrange. We will form the batch. We will start the classes. So shall we go ahead and see the slides, or just we'll stop here, we'll continue tomorrow?
Sir, if we continue tomorrow, sir, like today I have my ceremony, so I will start 2 minutes.
We do have our graduation ceremony. So
okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I'm very much okay with that. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir. It was a nice class.
Have a great day. Bye.